Hello jewelers and welcome back. I have seen so many of you guys using Instagram the wrong way and hoping to sell your jewelry. So in this video I'm going to go through some really helpful pointers to help you use Instagram the right way to get more of those consistent sales. Make sure you stick around to the end because I share my most important tip to make sure that you can achieve this. First up, it's not about the numbers. Yes, we all have this idealized idea of having a huge big Instagram following, and that means that we're going to get loads and loads of sales instantly. Sorry to break it to you, but that's not true. Often, huge accounts have much less actual human contact with their followers because they just can't keep up with the comments, then they lose interest, and there's just more and more new people, so it's harder to nurture a relationship with people and make them know, like, and trust you. When you want to sell something, you want to be able to connect with people, you want people to know that you're a brand that they like and that they can work with and that they trust. So by having a huge big following actually can often work against you rather than for you. And instantly having a huge amount of followers doesn't necessarily mean a huge amount of sales, because sometimes you're being followed by random people who are just following you in the hopes that you're going to follow them back, and then your account is filled with people who don't actually genuinely care and love what you're putting out there. And then that leads us to feel disheartened, and we look at these huge accounts thinking, oh wow, they must be doing so amazingly, but that's not always the case. Sometimes smaller is better. Size does matter, but not in the way that you think. Point number 2, you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but it's that word we love, consistency. But being consistent comes with a whole lot of different things that you need to consider. So obviously you want to be consistent, but you might put things into your way that are going to stop you from wanting to be consistent. One of those things is super important: to avoid following random people and getting them to follow you back. So the follow for follow thing, because you know your feed where you're scrolling and you see everybody's things. So that is what you want to actually curate as well, because you want to be going on Instagram and feeling inspired and excited to be on there and follow the work of creators that you like. So if you are following random people trying to grow this huge big account, like I mentioned before, that's not the important thing and not the main goal that you want to be doing. You're going to soon feel really disheartened and really just disinterested in being on the platform, because it's really uninspiring and demotivating seeing all the stuff that you're following unintentionally. So be conscious about who you choose to follow so that you do go on there and then you feel excited to be a part of it. This will then lead you to be able to be more consistent because you're excited about it rather than feeling like it's draining your energy. So being consistent also looks different for everybody else. So many people, be consistent. What does that mean? It looks different for everybody. So someone who's a full-time jeweler, their consistency is going to be completely different to someone who's part-time. So don't compare yourself and your consistency with theirs. It's like comparing apples and oranges, what I always say. It's fruit, sure, but it's completely different, smells different, looks different, and everything. So try and just make it yours and take into account what you have also going on and what is possible for you to actually do so that you are consistent. Because there's no point posting once every blue moon and then posting 3 pictures a day for a week, being completely and utterly burnt out by it, and then just go, Instagram, I can't handle that, I don't want to be on there. So find that balance for you. So if it is once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, make that decision and then try and make it sustainable. That's the whole point with consistency in my mind. And point number 3 is having a follower base that is full of jewelry designers is actually detrimental. So you really want to avoid the temptation to follow each other and always engage with each other's content, because that's actually harming your account. What the Instagram algorithm does is it looks at your followers and sees who's engaging with your content and goes, okay, right, these are the people who are interested in this, so let me show it to more people like that. So if your followers are all jewelers like you, that means it's going to push it to more jewelers who are not going to buy your jewelry. So that is why it's actually detrimental. And if you have the same people who are always commenting on your jewelry because they're other fellow jewelers and they want to show their support, but then they don't actually genuinely want to buy from you or anything like that, their interest is going to dwindle and wane. So that means that Instagram is going to go, oh, this content's actually not very good. So these first few people I pushed it to, being jewelers, were not that interested, so I'm not going to bother pushing it to other people. So we want to avoid that. So what I've actually done on my jewelry account, my MC Jewelry account on Instagram, is I've actually removed followers. So people who are following me, I have deleted them because they're jewelry designers, not because I don't appreciate it. I completely understand and I'm touched by you guys following me, but it's actually not very helpful in terms of my jewelry business, because then Instagram wants to show my content, my jewelry content, to other jewelers who are not my target audience. So that's where my coaching account comes in, where I welcome with open arms all of you lovely jewelers, and we can chat and connect and support each other there, because that is more of the place where I want to engage with you guys. So I appreciate you all. I love you all genuinely, and thank you. I did break my heart a little bit removing some of you guys, but I had to do it because in the end, Instagram has an algorithm and we need to work with it rather than fighting it and wondering why things aren't working out well for us. So I constantly do this, where I go through those sections and then I remove followers. I don't care about the number of followers I have. That is not my goal. I just want to have a nice community of people that I can communicate with and chat with who are interested in my jewelry, who are my potential clients. So I have photographers, all kinds of people on there who buy my jewelry who share a similar aesthetic to me. So that's what you want to do. So obviously you need to know what your brand is about to be able to connect more with those people. And point number 4, it's super important to keep up with the algorithm updates. So often we go, oh God, no, I know there's a new update. What the hell is it and how the hell do I use it? The world's against me, Instagram's against me, and you give up and you don't even look into it. But actually, Instagram is always trying to improve itself and make things better for you. So we want to work with that and use it to our advantage. And if you jump on those changes sooner rather than later, then it often works in your favor. So Instagram goes, right, great, you're using this, let's push your content even further. So at the moment, as of July 2022, one of the really big important changes, well, there's a few, but one of the really big important changes is that it is pushing short form video content. It has been for a while, but what that means is you want to really be focusing in on stories and reels. So like TikTok, it has lots of video and YouTube shorts as well, lots of videos. People are consuming that kind of content a whole lot more. Stop, think about it yourself. What do you enjoy the most? Do you go on the feed and look at the pictures, or do you go to reels or stories and watch little videos? Because remember that Instagram in the end is a social platform. So it is a place where you can go and you want to relax and you want to enjoy some content. So if you have to read a lot of stuff, then people aren't really going to be finding your content as engaging. So remember that stories is where people who know you are going to be interacting and engaging. So have fun with that. And then in reels, that is what helps reach a wider audience of people who are not following you. So in terms of reels, always make sure that they're catchy, put a hook in the beginning, make sure that they're engaging and fun to watch for somebody who's not a jeweler, for somebody who is out to buy your jewelry. So always keep your target audience in mind. And in terms of other updates, you will notice if you scroll into your feed that you're going to see above posts of people that you don't follow where it says suggested post. So that is the algorithm changing from a social platform to an interest-based platform, which is the huge big main change, which is actually, in my opinion, really good, because if you think about it, if you're friends with someone from school and you followed them, you interacted with them back then, and you grow and you change along the years, you don't necessarily have anything in common, so you're not going to interact with them anymore, right? So if you think about it in terms of Facebook as well, in that way, people who you followed back 5 years ago aren't necessarily on the same path as you. So if you have your feed full of people that you are following, you're going to lose interest because your interests change. So that's why it's changing from a social one, being people you know, who you're following and all of that, to an interest one. So it's going to be more like TikTok in that way, where the more of certain topics and themes of things you watch, the more of that is going to be shown to you. So those suggested posts is Instagram trying to learn what kind of content you like. So if you interact with them, if you see something nice and you follow that account or you interact with it, Instagram's going to go, right, I see, she likes something like this or he likes something like that. When you're on your feed, you're going to actually be seeing things that are interesting. So TikTok, if you guys are on TikTok, you'll see, oh, that's interesting, oh, and it gets tailored around what you like, because obviously Instagram wants to keep you on its platform. So it wants to learn how best to cater for you. And another thing is that there is now 2 options in your feed. So if you, from the home page where it says Instagram on the left, you're going to have an option to choose your favorites or following. So you can click on those 2 and then you can add people to your favorites list. So I've had some people reach out to me on Instagram saying, oh, I'm not seeing your content anymore. That's really weird. And they went and liked a bunch of my content because they hadn't been shown it by Instagram, because the feed, the Instagram algorithm is changing. So you may see that a lot of your posts are really not doing very well compared to how they used to do. But that is because of this change. So what you want to do is to favorite the people who you do want to see so that they are in your feed. So you have that choice to look at the people who you always want to see the content from. So if that is me, please feel free to add me to your favorites list. I would be more than happy. And then you have your followers, so people who you are following. So you can curate that and see which feed you spend more time on. And point number 6 is to use your time on Instagram wisely. How often have you been sitting there or laying there on the couch, scrolling, looking through reels after reels after reels, and then suddenly go, oh my God, it's 1 in the morning, what just happened? What have I done? You really want to avoid that and then feeling drained and guilty afterwards. You want to be spending your time interacting with the right people and doing it at the right time, so that it actually helps build your account into something that is filled with a community rather than just an energy waster. And before we jump into the last and most important point, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who signed up to the waiting list on my new course called Consistent Sales Academy, which, as the name suggests, is aimed at helping jewelry designers such as yourselves make consistent sales in your businesses. So the course itself launches on the 28th of August 2022, and I'm so excited. The waiting list is going to close on the 1st of August, so anyone who signs up to the waiting list before then will get access to a really generous, juicy discount as a thank you from me to you for signing up early to show your support and your interest in it, to give me an idea of whether this is something that you guys want. I've also been asking if there's anything in particular you would really like to see in the course, so drop down below in the comments if there's something that you really want to make sure that is in the course, because I'm still busy filming everything and planning out adding as much as I can to it, so it's super helpful. And the point you've all been waiting for is to not look at Instagram as the only place to sell your jewelry. It is super great in a lot of ways, definitely, but it is not the only place you should be trying to sell your jewelry. Like I said before, the algorithm changes, so many things change, and you're not in control of that. So what you really, really want to be doing is to be linking people from your Instagram to your website or Etsy or wherever it is you sell your products directly from. So your Instagram needs to be seen as more of a portfolio. So if you have a really nice, strong, clear brand based on your business values, based on your pillars, based on who your target audience is, based on your USP, and that is all really clear. So when people come onto your feed, they want to fall in love with your brand or not like it. You want to curate it in a way that it's going to appeal to the people you want to be selling to. You want to look at Instagram as a soft sell. So your website is the hard sell, because their aim is to buy. We all know that, they all know that, there's no pretending. Whereas on Instagram, they're on Instagram to socialize in the first place. So they're not in the headspace to buy right there and then. So you want to be using it as a place to welcome them into your brand, to showcase your brand, and you want to be doing that in your feed. So have a look at some of my clients before and after working with me to see how much stronger their brand is once they knew who their target audience was, once they knew their USP and who it is for. Speaking of websites, next week's video is all about helping you choose whether you go for Etsy or your own website. So we go through all the pros and cons and I give my opinion on that. So join me for that next week if you are interested in growing your jewelry business. If you found this content valuable, then please like and subscribe. It means the world to me, and it helps the algorithm on YouTube show my content to more jewelry designers like yourself, so I can help more of you guys. Once more, again, don't forget to join the waiting list if you're interested in joining the course and you want the opportunity to have a nice discount. There's a link in the description, and I will see you next week in another video. Bye!